All 10 modal verbs explained. Modal verbs are auxiliary verbs which are used to express possibility, ability, obligation. We use them to ask for permission, and in some cases they are used to draw conclusions or to give somebody advice. This will be clear to you once we start our list. So let's get started. Number 1. Can. We use the modal verb can to express an ability. For example, I can sing. Therefore, I have the ability to sing. We can see that I is the subject of this sentence, can is the auxiliary verb, and sing is the main verb. The modal verb can is also used to express permission. Can you teach me to sing? We are asking somebody to do something for us. Therefore, we are asking them for permission to teach us. If they say yes, then they will teach us. If they say no, they will not. Therefore, the modal verb can is used to express ability and permission. Number 2. Could. The modal verb could is used to express an ability or a possibility. For example, I could help you. Therefore, I have the ability to help you. I physically can help you, but that doesn't mean that I will actually help you. And could she be waiting? Now imagine this. You are sitting in your house and you are thinking about a certain person and asking yourself whether she is waiting outside for you. But the truth is, she might not be there. She might not be waiting. So these are hypothetical situations. For example, there is a 50% chance that she is not waiting outside and that you will not help somebody. Number 3. May. We use the modal verb may to express a possibility or to ask for permission. For example, I may be late, which means that there is a possibility that I will be late, but I might not be late. There is a 50% chance due to unforeseen circumstances that I will be late, but I might be on time. Okay, and may I use the restroom? Now I am asking for permission in a nice way. For example, when you say, can I use the restroom? You are literally asking somebody if you have the ability to use the restroom, if you can physically go and use the restroom. Now, this is the correct way of asking somebody, for example, a teacher or somebody that is in charge, to use the restroom. May I use the restroom? Now, this shows that you have manners and that you know your grammar and your English. Number 4. Might. We use the modal verb might to express a possibility. For example, I might be able to swim, but chances are very slim because you probably don't know how to swim, and you are telling somebody that if you try, you might be able to actually accomplish your goal. You might be able to swim. So therefore, the modal verb might is used to express a possibility. Don't forget that. Number 5. The modal verb must is used to express an obligation or to draw a conclusion. For example, you must go at once. You must go immediately. Your presence is obligatory. Therefore, you must leave. You must go. Physically, you must leave. So therefore, this is an obligation. You have to do it. Must you go at once? Now we are asking somebody, do they really have to go immediately? Do they really have to go at once? And of course, because it is obligatory that they go at once, they must leave immediately. Okay, and now she must be waiting. Imagine this. You are sitting in your house and you are thinking about whether somebody is waiting for you. And after a while, you draw a conclusion. She must be waiting. So there is a possibility, a big one, that she is outside waiting for you. Hurry up. You have to go and meet her immediately because she is waiting for you. Number 6. Have to. We use the modal verb have to when we want to express an obligation. For example, you have to go to school, or you must go to school. Can you tell me what the difference between have to and must is? Here, I'll explain it to you. For example, have to is used in less formal circumstances. For example, when your mother tells you that you have to go to school, it's a bit different than when, for example, a teacher tells you you must do your homework. So you see, there is a bit of formality in must, and that is the key difference between them. Number 7, ought to. We use the modal verb ought to give advice or to express an obligation. For example, you ought to go to sleep. Now this is advice. It doesn't really mean that you are forcing somebody to go to sleep. No, you're telling them, you look tired and you ought to go to sleep, just to feel better or to look better. However, if your mother is saying you ought to go to sleep, it means that you really, really should go to sleep, and it is an obligation because if you don't go to sleep, you will be in trouble. Number 8, need to. We use the modal verb need to express an obligation. For example, you need to study more. Imagine this. You are having some trouble at school and your parents find out. You come home and they tell you you need to study more because as a consequence of not studying more, you will fail. Therefore, it is an obligation. You need to study more so you can succeed. So you can succeed in life. So, need to expresses an obligation. Remember that. Number 9, should. We use the modal verb should to give somebody advice. For example, you should study more. Now, this is advice given to somebody that is really having some trouble in school and might be failing a lot of classes. So you tell them, you should study more. This is some good advice, don't you think? Number 10, would. We use the modal verb would to ask somebody for permission. For example, would you like to go out with me? Now, this is a frequent sentence that a lot of people use, and they are hoping that the other person will say yes. So, imagine this. You like somebody, and you decide to ask them to go out with you. Then you will ask them, would you like to go out with me? And if the other person says yes or gives you their permission, then you two will go out to the movies or to get a drink or just to go out for a walk. And finally, a bonus, will. Now we use the modal verb will when we give somebody our word or promise them something. For example, I will call you tomorrow. It means that you are giving them your word and telling them that you will call them tomorrow. You're promising them. However, if you do not call them tomorrow, it means that you broke your promise, you broke your word, and a word means a lot to a lot of people. We hope you enjoyed our video. There will be more videos in English, so don't forget to subscribe. Thank you, and until next time.